My name is Ted James. I'm a Baton Rouge native and a member of the Louisiana House of Representatives. I've served the people of District 101 for 10 years, and I currently serve as the chairman of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, where we are charged with not just advocacy, not just education, and not just legislation, but with also elevating issues that are so important to the African American community. There is no issue of importance greater than the issue of pancreatic cancer. Many of you know the story of my former colleague, Ronnie Edwards. Ronnie Edwards was a huge asset to this community in that she led with her heart, and her heart called her to serve. Unfortunately, pancreatic cancer called her home way too early. So we know firsthand the work of the Elvin Howard Sr. Pancreatic Cancer Advocacy Foundation. If we work extremely hard to find a cure, then people like Ronnie have more years to serve, more years to love, and more years to fight. Because of Ronnie's story and countless other stories in our community, the Black Caucus has started to do two things. Number one, we're looking at research. And research has shown us that there's a 35% higher prevalence of pancreatic cancer in the African American community versus the white community. We're also looking at what the state can do to do more to help organizations on the ground like the Elvin Howard Sr. Pancreatic Cancer Advocacy Foundation. We know that there should be a greater partnership between the philanthropic community, such as this foundation, and the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, as we are the policymakers of our great state. We don't always get it right, but we know that the social determinants of health have created so many different issues in the community that we represent. Our work with this foundation is going to help us to elevate the conversation about pancreatic cancer in rooms such as the Health Equity Task Force, in the newly created Office of Women's Health, that were geared and formed towards making sure that we have the necessary information so that we can see that 35% be reduced to 25, then to 15. Because we want to make sure that we are doing the best as policymakers to eradicate what we have seen this disease do in our communities. As I think about what we have learned from the research and what we are continuing to learn about the work of this foundation, I'm extremely encouraged because this is the right combination that needs to take place before we can get to the action items that we know will eradicate what this disease has done in our communities. I'm encouraged because we know now that there are organizations like the Elvin Howard Foundation on the ground, and they need our support. They need our help with research, they need our help with fundraising, and they need our help to elevate this conversation, not just in our state, but across the country. And I am extremely excited because I know the work of our caucus, and I know the work and the spirit of this foundation because I know Elvin Howard Sr.'s children. I would not be a state representative if I didn't meet Veronica Howard as a law student. Those of us in the community know the work of her brother, Elvin, who is a police officer in this community. My grandparents always taught me that you know a tree by its fruit. So we know that with the children of Elvin Howard Sr., that must have been one strong and powerful tree because of the fruit that it bears. So we are extremely encouraged to help them honor their father in the work of this foundation.